Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Critical Podcast. My name is Jimmy Good, and I am your host. And joining me this week are my go-to podcast compadres, Mr. Joe Lever.
Mr. Joe Lever at your service, Jimmy Good.
And Mr. Levi Fletcher.
What's up, guys?
There we go, everybody. Welcome to another episode where we like to talk about everything in entertainment. We're talking movies, games, TV shows, theme parks, which we're going to talk about that this week. We got a lot of news to cover. We're going to jump right in. Little thing happened this year. It actually happens once every other year, called D23. A big, the Disney's official fan club, and they do this big expo thing over in California. They drop a bunch of information about movies and the theme parks and all that stuff. So we're going to get right to it. Let's talk about Marvel. So Marvel got a lot of interesting information out on some of the new shows that are coming up. Basically 3 in general that I want to speak about here today. Those 3 are Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, and Moon Knight. So I kind of gave Joe a brief rundown on at least 2 of these characters. And Levi, I'm not sure how familiar you are with all of them. We kind of know Miss Marvel a little bit from the most recent Marvel Ultimate Alliance and stuff like that. But for those who might not know, kind of think Mr. Fantastic powers, kind of like that. She can embiggen a hand and then punch somebody with it, or she can shrink down to the size of Ant-Man. She could do a bunch of different things. She can kind of basically change sizes of her body and use that as to fight with. But interesting thing on top of that, kind of Peter Parker-esque in the fact that she is a teenager, so that she kind of goes out at night and fights, and then she kind of has to sleep it off and falls asleep in class and all that stuff too. But also another thing interesting for kind of inclusivity, or I think that's the word, maybe that's what it is, yeah, is that she is actually Muslim Pakistani, and she's I think who lives in New Jersey. So I'm guessing that will be kind of a teenage show, TV series focused on her exploits, kind of trying to balance being a kid but also being a hero at the same time. Again, very Peter Parker-esque. She-Hulk, think it's Intelligent Hulk from Avengers Endgame, but a woman, because it's actually Bruce Banner's cousin, who actually accidentally gets a blood transfusion from Bruce and becomes an intelligent, walking and talking Hulk that is also a lawyer who likes to break the fourth wall a lot. So think, again, Deadpool-esque. I've never been a fan of taking any of the Hulks and making them intelligent. I've always thought that's kind of dumb. Neither here nor there, though, and I'm sure that will kind of feed the Deadpool fans and also the She-Hulk fans, which apparently there are many. The one that I think that's most interesting here is the combination of basically Batman and the Punisher, which is Moon Knight. So this mercenary who basically was left for dead in Egypt gets brought back to life after making a deal with an Egyptian spirit named Khonshu, and goes back into the world as a vigilante, basically brutalizing and potentially even killing bad guys in the process. But he's got a white cape, kind of Egyptian stylings and trappings to him, but has basically batarangs and all the stuff that Batman has, but gets more powerful when the moon is full, I guess, sort of. But he's also got, his mind is kind of muddled because he's got more than one personality up in there. So again, kind of like I said, is this almost Punisher kind of styling, where he's Marines, and he's got all this training, but then also kind of Batman-esque, where he's a vigilante and he's kind of leading double lives and things like that. My question to you guys,
First question should be, which one seems most appealing to you?
That's what I was going to ask.
Stole the thunder.
That's fine. Levi, because you haven't talked about this with me as much. Which of these to you are you the most excited about?
Moon Knight.
Why?
I don't really care much for Hulk in general. He's never been one of my favorite characters. Miss Marvel, meh. She kind of looks like a teenage, whatever. But yeah, Moon Knight seems cool.
But not Hulk, but She-Hulk, his cousin.
Yeah, She-Hulk.
She breaks the fourth wall. You're not into that?
Great.
Okay, so, but would you put Moon Knight at the top and the other 2 at the same
Yeah,
spot?
I'd say Moon Knight, and then Miss Marvel and She-Hulk kind of side by side.
Okay, yeah. And so what about, is Moon Knight, like I said, is a scratch, an itch for you, or are you just okay, out of these 3, it's just my favorite one?
I think a more edgy superhero is what we need right now. So I think Moon Knight kind of scratches that itch.
Yeah. I also wonder, too, because, Arrow's stopping, if it's going to also be kind of scratching that itch for, the CW fans, where they're, an edgier, old-school Arrow, where he used to be you failed the city, and you just shoot somebody. Yeah. But anyway, Joe, how about you?
Yeah, you know what I immediately think of with Moon Knight?
What?
Is start thinking of, who are the characters The characters from Smallville when they had those. Levi, do you remember the Hawkman? Hawkman?
Yeah, Hawkman and
Hawk,
Hawkgirl or
Hawk,
Hawkwoman. Yeah,
yeah.
they're from Thanagar or something.
Yeah, so immediately I think of that for some reason, and that wasn't done in the greatest of light. They had the whole Egyptian aura thing going on, but it wasn't really, it was kind of ish. Um, Moon Knight obviously is my number one pick. I like the whole kind of anti-hero ish vibe. Again, probably kind of that arrow you have failed the city kind of a thing, but I think there's going to be a little bit more pizzazz here, being that it's the Disney deal and all. Plus, you mix anything with that kind of Egyptian lore and all that old, that religious stuff, that the Egyptian religion. Essentially, I always thought that of all the coursework in my history classes, the Egyptian stuff was always the most enthralling and interesting. And I think a lot of that can almost be attributed to the art style and stuff. Like, who didn't think Anubis was kind of the coolest looking, like, totem?
Yeah.
It's really neat. And, like, even in, like, the Mummy movies and stuff, like, I remember there was one poorly done and everything, Scorpion King or whatever, with The Rock, his first probably big screen feature. But when he raises the army of Anubis or whatever, for some reason I thought that was awesome. Yeah, poorly done. It was kind of before its time. Now, could it be done better? Sure.
Yeah.
But those Anubis, the likeness of Anubis, they looked really cool. And for some reason that always captured my imagination. But so this character kind of having ties to that whole realm or aura is interesting to me. Not to mention, he seems like he has a lot of similarities to like a Batman or somebody of that nature. You talked about how he had like some sort of wealth and stuff like that, which, there's got to be something to feed the fire, right? So, I don't know. I think it just lends itself to more possibilities. It'd be interesting to learn, what the plot is or what kind of obstacles are going to be in place for him. I think that'll tell us a little more and get us a little more interested or maybe disinterested. But I think there are many avenues to take with a character like that. On the opposite end of the spectrum, you have like Ms. Marvel, which, first of all, the name, like, we have Captain Marvel, now Ms. Marvel. They're not really similar in any way, but she portrays them or their likeness a lot.
Yeah, she's like, I don't remember if it's actually Lashana Lynch's daughter who plays that, the friend, the best friend in Captain Marvel, which you haven't seen, Joe. She has a daughter, and I believe she becomes Miss Marvel.
Oh, okay. Okay, and so she looks up to Captain Marvel, so morphs into her likeness often?
She can occasionally, but I think she just looks up to her.
Okay.
And Captain Marvel for a while used to be Miss Marvel because there was actually Captain Marvel. It was a whole thing. So
which is super confusing, and then Shazam and
all that stuff. Yeah, it's very much like, what the heck. Anyway, sorry, Joe, keep going.
The more you say about that, the more disinterested I become. I get it. Okay, it's got a cool tie to that or a through line. Okay. But it's also a little cliche. Like you said, it's very Peter Parker-esque. Do I necessarily need more of that, even though I don't personally, but I know how that would like engage an audience because there are so many, because that's appealing to your high school audience, right? Oh, she has to go to school in the morning and live her normal life, but at night she's this, That's appealing to that age group that's currently in that that time of their lives because it's relatable. So yeah, to me it's a little done before, slightly cliche, and doesn't sound that crazy impactful to me.
Sure.
And then She-Hulk, let's face it, I'm pretty burnt about the whole Intelligent Hulk thing on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I hate the way that they never really gave Hulk his day. And some people say, but he put on the gauntlet to snap everybody back and whatnot. Yeah, I don't.
Boo.
Really, yeah,
he also likes flavored Windex. Okay, like.
They they took everything that was great about the Hulk and they literally diminished it and crumbled him down to nothing worth watching on the big screen anymore. And he never had his day in any of those Infinity War or Endgame, and it kind of bummed me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently originally they had talked about actually putting the transformation of him from like Hulk and Banner into that like combined version, that Smart Hulk, in the movie originally, but they cut it out for some odd reason. They're like, we figured it out, and that happened over 5 years. And it was like, couldn't we have seen anything? Like even a montage is 3-hour movie. Like
poor Mark kept getting like shoehorned in almost every movie he was in.
I feel like that's totally true. Yep, it's just like he's here, Hulk's in space. Don't worry about it. Yeah, Joe. I feel like I kind of I feel like the same with you guys.
Long story short, I don't need any more Hulk of any kind or gender, etc. He's been ruined.
Oh, I'm sorry. By the way, I like how you started like here, and then you got angrier and angrier, and then you like moved up right next to the mic. You're like, here I am now. You know. I think it's smart that Disney announced all 3 of these at the same time because I think it kind of hits all the notes. It's kind of like with some of the Star Wars stuff they've been doing recently, where it's like, all right, think about your target demos, but then think about all of your demographics. Why not talk about all these things at the same time? Because for folks like us, Moon Knight is going to be the most appealing. But there's plenty of people out there who will look at Miss Marvel and be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like Peter Parker-esque, like teenage, instead of doing Spider-Gwen or something, we have that for young women and men. And then there's also She-Hulk, which I don't really know what that's going to be, if it's going to be like a procedural where she's kind of fighting crime, but she's also a lawyer and then talking to the camera a lot. So I don't know if it's going to be like a pseudo Law and Order, like also like action show.
How did she get her powers?
She got them, like I was saying before, I think it's like she got a blood transfusion from her cousin Bruce because they're the same blood type or something, and got gamma radiation and then became like she's not as strong as Hulk, but she's still pretty strong. I don't know. I've never enjoyed She-Hulk. I hate derivatives of like a main character like that, where it's just like it's the woman version or the guy version. Like I just am like and usually the guy, like, because guys made comic books back in the day, there aren't as many. Like they made the woman version, and it's not like they made Wonder Woman and then there's like Wonder Man. You know, that would be annoying to me because they already had Superman. So it's like, I don't know. It's complicated, but all I know is that I'm not a huge fan of She-Hulk. Maybe I will love this show. Maybe this show will be really good. All it does is I feel like it boosts the potential for Disney Plus in another way, because they're like, hey, there's more exclusive TV series coming specifically to the streaming service. You can't watch it anywhere else, which I think is interesting. And we did bring up Spider-Man. I did want to touch on it for just a second. We're not completely sure about this, but it sounds like Spider-Man might be leaving the MCU, which really freaking sucks, because Sony and Marvel, or Sony and Disney, I should say, have not come to an agreement on how money should be shared around, and Disney wants more money, and Sony's like, no, we're going to do our own thing, and Kevin Feige's, fine, you take him, and they're like, Kevin Feige's ours, and it's a whole thing, which makes me sad. Do you guys hear about this a little bit? I know Joey talked about it beforehand, but, like, do you guys, like, Levi, do you have any feelings towards any of this?
No, not really.
You're not sad or anything? You're okay?
No, you just kind of roll with it these days, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm totally with you too, because like I would usually be bummed, but I'm like, either someone will freak out enough and they'll change it, or it won't, and like they just won't have Spidey in the MCU, which I'll be okay with. He was there for a bit, right?
Yeah, I feel like he did his thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd love to see a third one to wrap it up, but
yeah, I'd love to see that Sinister Six and done by Marvel in a smart way. Joe, I know you're not a big fan of Spidey, and we kind of talked about it beforehand, but I was like, I'll just bring it up just briefly. But those are kind of the big Marvel announcements coming for Disney Plus, because Disney Plus has talked about a ton at D23, and I was like, we do have to talk about it just for a minute, just for 1 second. Let's see, moving on to the next thing here. Levi is the only one who's going to care about this, and I want to briefly get his opinion. We got a little new information on Star Wars. Rey might be Sith, be a bad guy now. We got like a foldable red lightsaber from the trailer. Levi, immediate gut reaction.
Finish it.
Do you not care at all?
Not one bit.
You don't care that she's got a cool red lightsaber now?
No, I just wrap up this story.
But that Mandalorian trailer, right?
Yep.
Okay, that was pretty good though.
Yeah.
You like that? I think it looks good. Apparently, I heard something like they have like 15 million per episode that they're putting into
Holy
this. So think about like that's what Game of Thrones was like, I think, at the end. And I was like, whew, whew, like it's so, and they're making 10
No,
episodes.
I think Game of Thrones is even higher than that, though,
Was it?
wasn't it? It was like cinematic almost.
Well, I mean, this is going to be like that because at the end of a 10 season, it's going to be 10 or episodes, I should say. So it'll be $150 million. And usually these big budget films are like 200, 250 maybe on the high end. So that's a lot of money. Like 15 million, 50, like The Mandalorian, it shows though. When you're watching it, you're like, this does kind of look like a movie. And just watching just like the gunfighting and stuff. Oh, gosh darn, man. I am so stoked. I'm glad that's launching because that's going to get people to buy into Disney Plus immediately. It's just like, got it.
Okay.
Star Wars.
And I stand corrected. You're right. That's Game of Thrones level because it was like 15 million an episode for that. Which, yeah, for a series, that's like a budget
It's
beyond
insane.
whatever.
Like, you have all the money that, like, I just like wonder, and they still accidentally put a coffee cup in one of those episodes. So it's just like, who's getting paid to do that? I'm just kidding. I'm just with you.
And man, Starbucks has been around a very
A
long time.
very long time. That mermaid's been there for a very long time. Yeah, but as far as the Star Wars stuff goes, I think The Mandalorian for me was the coolest. Like, there's the Star Wars Episode 9 stuff, but we still need to see more on that. And it's just like, just wrap it up.
You caught a little bit of it and it looked kind of cool. Is it Boba Fett that they're featuring, or is it different?
It's a different guy. So again, it's Pedro Pascal, who you'd know. Levi, you said his name. He's one of the Game of Thrones guys. But he's going to be in there, and I don't know if he is actually technically going to be a Mandalorian or he just has the Mandalorian armor. I forget which, but it's going to be bounty hunting, and it's going to be set a few years after Return of the Jedi, Joe. So that would be in between episodes 6 and 7, which might not mean a lot to you, but it's when the Empire was crumbling, and it sounds like this guy is basically just taking all the jobs he can get, and apparently the jobs he's taking isn't worth the fuel he has to spend on his like spaceship to get there. So it's like a very sad and desperate time. So he's willing to like pick fights with pretty much everybody just to get money. And I'm excited to see that because I was like, and it just looks crisp. Like you get that, like I can taste the budget, baby. When I taste that budget, you're like, ooh, that's good. Like you can, it just looks nice. So I'm really looking forward to that show. I think it's gonna be very cool. I do want to talk about this briefly. I know you guys aren't as big a fan of the parks as I am, but I wanted to just mention a few little things. Finally, we're getting some information on the Marvel stuff coming to Disney's California Adventure over in California. I think it could be cool. I still need to see more of it. It sounds like they're going to have like one ride or maybe two. One is Spider-Man based, which is going to be kind of sad. It's like a kind of one of those like shooting gallery type things, but it looked like from the concept art that people were flinging webs like this, but they didn't have any things on their arms or hands. So I wonder if they're going to implement technology like cameras and computers that would say like, oh, they've got their hand like this, it's pointing this direction, and they're gonna shoot something. Because like some of the tech that Disney's been putting in their rides lately is getting to like that absurd level where you're like, this seems like way too nice, like, or too crazy. So that, and it sounds like in Avengers, like you kind of get in a Quinjet and then eventually like break away from the Quinjet in like separate little like chairs that are jetpacks, but I don't think that's really going to happen. I was like, I don't think that's going to make a lot of sense to have like 40 people in a room and they all like separate and they're flying around a room together. Like that'd be nuts too. But so there's that. Also sounds like we're finally getting some Mary Poppins love over in Epcot, along with a walkthrough Moana attraction. I wanted it to be a dark ride, but apparently it's just going to be kind of a walkthrough, and you can kind of play with water and stuff, because for people who've seen Moana, the ocean is has a mind of its own, and you can kind of manipulate it, it sounds like, in this attraction. Along with kind of Epcot rebranding in some ways and showing a little bit more of the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. And then also, oh gosh, what was it? There was something else. Oh, kind of showing more of the Ratatouille stuff over in France, which was interesting as well. I don't know, Epcot's kind of changing away from the whole Future World and World Showcase, which a lot of people would know it from in the past, which World Showcase kind of talks about all the different pavilions of places around the world. And now the Future World is kind of going by the wayside, and they're calling it 3 different things instead of being all about the future. They're kind of rebranding and changing some stuff up. I think it's a good thing. I think it's good to keep positively moving forward, and I think it's also nice to kind of invigorate a park, because that's the problem Disney's having right now, is where they kind of take one of their parks that maybe is not doing as well and trying to draw people to it. Think like Toy Story Land and Star Wars in Hollywood Studios. Now that park has become a park that people want to go to really badly, and kind of pull people away from Magic Kingdom, because Magic Kingdom's always had that allure, and Pandora over at Animal Kingdom trying to draw people to that park. So it's just kind of this tricky game of like not having too many people
balancing them all.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people are like, are they going to open a fifth gate or something? And it's like, no, they're not going to do that. Like, it would be, that would be so hard to do. And I'm not saying they won't do it eventually. I'm just saying right now.
It's a lot to manage, a lot of manpower required, a lot of resources. Yeah.
Yeah, and the big thing that they were like quietly, like they were going to do that secret panel on that we were joking about, it is actually just, it's going to be a documentary called One Day, and it kind of details from the bottom to the top as far as the employees at Disney parks around the world go, and it just shows like what's it like the day in the life of somebody who's going to be like maybe a custodian or just one of the cast members in one of the parks, all the way up to like maybe one of the park directors or whatever else. Fascinating. Don't think it needed its own panel and it'd be like a big secret, but at the same time I was like, that sounds really cool. So these kind of, there's another documentary that's going to be there, I think, at launch too. That kind of stuff for me is just truly fascinating, where I'm like, okay, this is neat, and I'm glad I don't have to like go to a movie theater to see that. I'd rather just watch it at home, you know.
So what else are they offering with Disney Plus?
I am so glad that you asked, Joe, because I wanted to talk about that.
I know Disney has their fingers in the pudding in a lot of different realms, right? ESPN, for crying out loud. So,
all right, so here's the deal. I looked it up because I wanted to know. Disney Plus is launching November 12th here in the States for $7. That doesn't seem like a lot, but at the beginning, it sounded like they also recognized that they wouldn't have as much content, more or less, comparatively to something like Netflix. I will say this, though, as just a regular viewer of stuff, I couldn't tell you how much more content Netflix has than Disney. Like, if you show me that big title pages, I don't know. Anyway, so for $7, basically what you get is you're going to get all those exclusive shows I talked about eventually. Like, they're not all going to be there at launch. Like, we talked about, like, WandaVision and stuff coming down the line. But pretty much the entire Disney back catalog, all the Star Wars films, all the Marvel films. That's, like, kind of what you get for that $7. And like Netflix, in the future, it sounds like that price will go up, because they talk about this price being an initial price. But for people who were at D23, and then also people who are part of the D23 fan club, you can like sign up for it and have like a 3-year commitment, and it's only like $4 or $3.92 a month, but you have to pay like it all up front. It's like $150 or something. I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool thing to like offer your fans, and that's also a way to legitimize. That's the word.
I'm giving you vocabulary.
Thank you. I'm sorry. It's been a long couple of weeks. But legitimize their group and also spread it by word of mouth. But they talked about, again, initial pricing, and with Netflix, it was the same thing. It went up and up. One thing I read today, though, that I thought was really cool is that Netflix right now, with the regular, kind of the one that I've got, is like, it's like $12 or $13 a month, and you get 2 screens and you can watch simultaneously. Apparently, Disney Plus is saying you get 4 screens and it can be 4K content, and they can all be viewed simultaneously or something like that. And I was like, are you kidding, Disney? Disney's like, we want you to buy us now. Like, they're like, we want to kill Netflix together. So that, I believe, is what they said was for, I don't know if it's simultaneously, but that's what it sounded like, to kind of, and the 4K content, which is part of Netflix's premium plan, which is more of like $16 a month or something. I was like, oh my gosh, like that is, for me, that's pretty cool. But you can also bundle this. So if you don't want to do just the $7 per month, if you want to do, I think, Hulu and ESPN on top of that, you can bundle it all together for, get this, $13 a month. So what I'm paying right now for Netflix, instead, what I could pay for is that bundled chunk of stuff. And now we're talking Hulu, which has got a ton of flipping stuff, and then also ESPN for the sports, fans in your family. So I'm not getting paid by Disney, but yes, I am a Disney fan, and I always have been.
Call me interested.
Yeah.
Call me interested.
ESPN thing alone, I feel like for some people is like almost like forget cable. Like if you could have those 3 things, you might be like, why am I doing cable? You know what I mean? Like
exactly. They're gonna kill cable and almost kill Netflix. Here's the thing. I use Hulu right now for a lot of my entertainment viewing. Hulu's got a pretty big plethora of good content, Showtime stuff, and if you pay more, I think you even get HBO stuff. I'm totally down for that, and if I can bundle it all together for that, yeah. Plus, I'm down for some of that Disney stuff. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
like a question, but an ESPN, which I don't really have access to anymore besides the internet. I like that thought. Not to mention, it's not just the Marvel stuff and Star Wars stuff. I mean, they have a lot of Disney. I mean, Disney has a lot of stuff. I mean, there's a lot more than that. Animated movies, etc. I assume Pixar.
Yeah, that's all in there.
Is on there. So you're getting a lot. I mean,
oh yeah, National Geographic.
Yes, thank you. I saw that in an advertisement. They had National Geographic on there, which is also
because I saw like a cheetah running, and I was like, "What the heck?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, they got Nat Geo," and I was like, "Oh cool, like that's pretty cool too."
Yeah.
So again, it's kind of a crazy deal. And I'm interested to see like if that all pops up in the same user face. So if you got that bundle, Joe, would you just be able to go like the Disney Plus app thing, and it would just be like, hey, where's the sports stuff? And be like, hey, you have access to that. So here's the football channel, the basketball channel, the baseball channel. Like you could just be like, oh,
like, awesome.
That'd be cool. Levi, I don't know how you feel about all this, and if you would change out, because I know right now you've got Netflix and Hulu, and I'm not saying people have to get rid of Netflix, but I guess my question is like, is there something like, would you be okay having both at the same time, or would you be like, all right, I'm gonna cancel Netflix for a while, check this out, and then come back to it? I don't know. Levi might be gone. Is Levi gone? Did we lose Levi? We lost him forever. We lost him. We loved him. Okay, that's all right.
I'm totally gonna cancel Netflix, integrate my Hulu, probably cancel my HBO, and maybe pay the extra to get more access on Hulu. To get like Ballers with The Rock and Game of Thrones, stuff like that. Have it all in one spot for not much more money or about the same, and be done with it.
Yeah, I wonder too, like Witcher would have to be super good. And here's the thing though, unless Netflix starts doing what they're gonna do with some of the shows on Disney Plus with like the Mandalorian, they're gonna do it once a week, which kind of sucks, but also kind of rocks, because I remember feeling kind of like jaded after watching like the Marvel stuff, and I just go through all of it and I was like, that was it, like, but there's like 13 episodes, sometimes it's too much. But I think doing it weekly like that, if you're gonna watch along with it, you're like, oh, it's like your Game of Thrones show where you like kind of watch, you like look forward to it, like, oh, Wednesday night or whatever, it's coming out, sick, I'm gonna watch it. So unless they do that with something like The Witcher, I could just get it for like a month and just watch all of The Witcher, when that new thing comes out, and then just like watch it all in a couple of days. And then, because like I'm not gonna just subscribe to Netflix for Stranger Things or something. Like I don't care about that show that much. Like, and I don't know. I feel like Netflix is probably like The Ranch, like the originals. Like Fuller House is great. Don't get me wrong, but like I'm not like, I need Fuller House. Like,
if I really feel desperate to check it out, I'll find some way to illegally watch it.
He means legally watch it. Yeah.
I get it.
I just thought it was interesting, like, and now getting that price point for $7, like, so half of basically what I'm paying right now. Also for that Disney back catalog, which means a lot to me, because I would love to watch those movies legitimately and not like have to go through other means, or like have to like get out a DVD and stuff and just like have them there, and I could just watch them right in a row, because I'm sure they'll have a Disney playlist like that. They're like, start at Snow White, you go to Pinocchio and just like follow all the way up. But I also really want, and I don't know if they've confirmed it or not yet, but I would not be surprised to see shows like Gargoyles, the TV versions of Aladdin, Little Mermaid, like Darkwing Duck, like all that stuff, DuckTales, like all of that stuff, Tailspin, be on Disney Plus too, because that just elevates your thing even more, because you get the kids who grew up with it, us, and then who are showing it to their potential kids. So it's just like, I don't know, it's just like showing that old stuff. I feel like it's just such a smart thing to put on there, because it just elevates that platform. And if they keep making original content where they're putting $15 million into an episode, you gotta imagine that they're like really confident and really aggressive about being like, hey, Netflix, we're kind of done with you. And for all those years,
I mean, the people that are paying for that subscription, you're getting bang for your buck. I mean, their money where their mouth is, and you're getting a quality product for your investment, which is, I mean, 1 + 1 = 2. I mean, that's
Well, that and the whole, like, again, I think I'm not a sports guy, but I have to imagine that there are people out there who do really enjoy ESPN and they don't really want to pay for it, and they're like, as a cable add-on or whatever it is.
the dad and the older brother are in the football, basketball, baseball, all the sports. The younger daughter and the mom like the Disney stuff. I mean, they've got the whole family sucked in.
Yep, and 4 screens simultaneously. Levi, $7.
What do they want to watch when they want to watch it? Done.
Yeah, Levi, $7 a month for Disney Plus, but $13 for it plus Hulu and ESPN. Will you be canceling Netflix?
I don't pay for Netflix in this household, so I won't be canceling Netflix. But that's a damn good price.
Yeah.
I think they're just starting to add up, though. You know, Games Pass and Xbox Live, and then fucking this, and like, goddamn.
I feel like after a while, Games Pass, they're gonna start paying us to use it. Like, it's such a crazy good service, but I feel like they keep going. They're like, it's $1. It's just $1 right now. Don't worry.
You're probably not wrong.
But I guess so, Levi. If you were paying for Netflix, would you just be like, all right, I'm gonna do this for a while instead, and then maybe hop back to Netflix later on?
No, I'd probably pay for both. Just the quality of content and the quantity of content you get from Disflix is like, it's just no brainer.
Apparently, they're not going to have as much as Netflix, but is there any, like, series or something you watch on Netflix that you're like, oh, I have to watch it because I love it so much?
No, not anymore.
Okay. Well, what? Did they get rid of something you used to love?
Well, I mean, before I used to love, like, House of Cards. Before I turned to shit, I used to love Orange is the New Black, you know?
Yeah.
And now, like, a lot of my animes are only, like, 3 seasons on there, so it's like it's not even worth it keeping around for that either, you know.
If Disney somehow gets anime, like Hulu's got anime, but like if they get even more anime, I feel like they're gonna it's gonna be such a coup. Like people, they're gonna be like, Netflix was big for a bit, and then Disney is like, nope, not anymore. Yeah, I think it's interesting. But I will definitely be getting it, and I will definitely be watching these shows with my family. And again, like Lion King is gonna launch a bit.
Is it the whole vault?
It is almost the entire vault, except for I think Song of the South, which is the one thing people were like fighting for immediately, and Disney's like, yeah, we're not gonna put that out. Like, it's like, I get it. It's part of their heritage, but at the same time, it's kind of like it's really
not even that bad. Like,
have you seen the whole thing?
No, but
so we don't know how bad it really is. But yeah, so the entire Disney vault. Like I was telling Joe, I'm hoping they put all the Disney XD, Disney Channel, all that stuff on there. Like I just rewatched Gravity Falls, which is on Hulu. That'll probably be on there. Incredibly good show. Please, everybody, go watch it. It's so good, even for adults. It's super funny. But yeah, I'm just excited for it, and for the more and more stuff we hear about this, and then all the Marvel shows we haven't talked about, but we've talked about in the past, like WandaVision, Winter Soldier and Bucky, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's such a weird, stupid name, and Loki. All that stuff. You have to imagine that they're putting in a similar budget to those. Maybe not as much as The Mandalorian, but like think about like that. All those shows like not wanting money. They're just like, any effect you want to do, break into it. They're like, it's just like, okay. So yeah.
For those, it's almost got to be required a budget.
Yeah. Oh, it has to be, but also this is so tricky because, again, this is how Disney gets you, because WandaVision leads right into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, so they're still going to get you to go out and see movies in the theaters. Like, that's the trick, because they're like, it's going to be that good, but they're going to be like, but if you want to go see Doctor Strange and what happens with Wanda next, you got to go to the movie theater. Like, you know, it's just... It's so brilliant. It's so brilliant. And I know they're, like, evil, corporate, greedy, or whatever, but guess what? I don't care. I love it. I'm just do it. Just do it. That's great. And also, does that mean Disney's going to try to buy Sony at some point? If this does super well, they're like, they just want to get Spider-Man back. They're like, screw it. Let's buy Sony. I guess we have a PlayStation now. PlayStation's now Disney branded. Just comes with a Mickey on it. They're just like, that's too bad, baby. You pissed off the mouse. I love it. It's so funny to me. I used to get made fun of so much as a kid for loving Disney. Like, my friends are like, oh, Jimmy, a bunch of princesses. I'm like, no, man, those movies are good. They're good movies. And I saw the future, baby. I knew it was coming, and I knew which pony to back. And it's Disney, baby. I love it. I've got 2 Mickey Mouse pads right here. 2 of them. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, that's right, Disney. Hire me, please. I'd love to work for you.
I mean, when they got Fox, that was a big step up the ladder because doing that allowed them this Hulu bundle thing. Oh my God.
Yeah, with the FX and stuff. And the weird seeing at D23 like a picture of Bart Simpson. Like there's a big poster with like him on it, and it's just like the Simpsons are like Disney now. Like, and after all the years of making fun of them. But apparently when they acquired Fox, they took like a loss of like 170 million like movie wise or something, like budget for their movies, because they made that movie The New Mutants, which apparently might never see the light of day now, and some other Fox properties. But I just have a hard time believing that Disney doesn't already have plans for not only Deadpool, but probably the Alien franchise, which will probably get a reboot. Maybe the Predator franchise, which I would imagine that they would talk to Kevin Feige and be like, can you make us like a Alien Predator MCU kind of thing? Like, you know.
I wonder if they'll ever invest in that again and bring it back.
There's money in it. I would not be surprised to see that. I would not be surprised to see that at all. They will try to make money on every property that they have. That's just what they're gonna do, I think, and they will make it work because Disney makes things work. They made Guardians of the Galaxy work, which I still can't believe they made work. Anyway, I'm excited about this, which I shouldn't be excited about a streaming service, but I just want to see all these old movies, and then also like them probably in HD, and they're not like in the Disney vault, so I could just go watch them and just watch them all in order and kind of go through it. Yeah, I'm excited. Levi, do you have any other thoughts on Disney Plus before we move on? I know you're gone there for a bit.
Get it, buy it.
Get it, buy it. He's gonna be there. He's gonna be there day one. We're gonna watch The Mandalorian together, boys. That'd be fun.
Yep.
I'm really excited for that show. Also, I think he cuts a guy in half with a door or something. I'm really looking
the sound of it.
I
saw that. Yeah. Only one's like a butthole door.
Yeah. Well, a sphincter door.
Yeah. Sorry, I got a little inappropriate, but that I saw that moment. That looked pretty badass.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I love a wrist cable. I love a good blaster. I love that. I like him taking on multiple stormtroopers at the same time. That's what I'm about. I like a gun. It's also old western. He's kind of got his hand like he's ready to do a little like old-fashioned duel. I like that too. Which, by the way, if you're ever gonna duel somebody like that, turn to the side. You're a harder target because if you stand like this, you're a bigger target. Just think about that next time you're dueling with pistols.
Get down on your knees. Turn to the side.
Joe's like, all right, 10 paces.
More compact.
Joe's just following the person as they take their 10 paces, like walking quietly right behind them. He's like putting the pistol to the back of their head. He's like,
like, you're stupid.
He's like, I win all my duels, but we do it secretly. But that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about from D23. Obviously, there's more that I didn't discuss here because there was just a plethora of new information. Guys, from what I've talked about today, Levi, go first. Was there one thing out of any of it that you're the most excited about?
You mean as far as like Moon Knight and stuff like that?
Anything. If Moon Knight's it, that's cool.
I'm just really happy with all the like plethora of content we're getting. Of course, from Disney. Like, we might as well just all get a tracking system put in us or something by now.
Mm-hmm. They know what we want.
Disney and Walmart, I feel like, are taking over the world, and it's scary.
Well, it's like Comcast and Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, which somebody said something a while ago that I thought was pretty good. I think it's Rob from Rob Plays, but he said there's a while that he thought it was so funny that people wanted Universal to buy Fox because it's the utilities people you got to really watch out for, like the internet people, like the internet companies, because like if you're a utility-based group like that, because Disney isn't selling internet and stuff, but if Comcast became like the only internet company or like the biggest one, then they could like make life really bad for people or just charge things like crazy. Yeah, exactly. That's why the FBI and everybody gets in on these things. That's why Disney had to go through all these processes when they were buying Fox, and they couldn't have multiple news networks or they couldn't have both the sports networks and stuff because they couldn't have a monopoly on it because they wanted to avoid such crazy things. But yeah, it's crazy. Joe,
wait, so tell me, does Disney have control over like Fox Sports?
No, they don't. They gave that up and Fox's newscasting stuff because they've got ABC.
So, control.
Fox has that, so Fox just doesn't have movies anymore.
So there's like a branch off of Fox that is still Fox.
Yes, like Fox News, and yeah, it was a whole thing. It's fascinating. But Joe, for you, any of these announcements that are the most exciting to you?
Yeah, announcement wise, maybe not so much. Definitely some good shows, but I'm not jumping out of my seat and running to YouTube to check everything and see everything about this. But ultimately, I like the idea of just from function as a consumer, being able to first of all be more wallet friendly and get all the content that I would like, and entertainment that I would like or desire. That's great. Being able to bundle my Hulu with it, get access to ESPN again, and then have all the Disney stuff as a cherry on top is just awesome. So ultimately, I think it bodes well for families. I mean, period. I mean, you pay $100 for a cable package every month. Give her the old boot, man, and you get Disflix here, Disney Plus, and get as much as you want. Maybe pay a little more. Maybe you're paying for the premium Disney Plus package, and you're still paying only a fraction of what you did to Charter for your bullshit package. Yeah. That's just me venting about my expenses as a homeowner. Anywho, that's where they got people. I'm just giving an example of why. I mean, the average American family is going to be like, boom, I got this. I got my Hulu. I got my sports. I got my Disney for the kids. 4 screens all at once, streaming their own thing, whatever anybody wants. It's a done deal. It's a no-brainer. And the pocketbook will thank you for it. You can do other things. Done. So I'm excited.
I agree.
Saying I'm excited.
Yeah. No, I agree with you completely. And I think if it really truly is, and I want to double check this quick. I just don't want people to be like, it's not 4 screens simultaneously. I almost called it Disflix in here. Disney Plus.
I don't think that's a deal breaker.
Not that it would matter for you, Joe, so much. Yeah, my God. We'll give you 4 simultaneous screens, 4K at no extra cost. Like, that is like, I mean, just like that alone is like, ugh, like Disney wants your whole family to stay at your house and only leave the house to go see either a Disney movie, which it will probably be most likely one of those, or B, go to one of the parks. Like, they're like, don't leave your house. Don't leave your house. Don't use Comcast though either. If Disney comes up with an internet service, we're all gonna be screwed. Like,
wait, Comcast thing to me now.
Explain it. So basically, so Comcast owns Universal now. And the thought was when Comcast basically made an even better offer to Fox as far as money and stocks and stuff go, they still went with Disney. And the scary thing about an internet conglomerate like Comcast gaining more and more power is that one day they could use that power to directly and negatively affect utility in our lives, whereas Disney can only directly affect the quality of some of the entertainment in our lives. These are add-ons. These are privileges. It's not like it's my right to go watch the Avengers. It's like it's my privilege, you know? It's like, yeah, it's cool. But if I didn't have Avengers in my life, it's not like the Avengers are slowing down my internet, you know? Or the Avengers didn't pick up my garbage. It's like, come on. They're like, well, it's going to cost a little bit more. So, yeah.
Part of your package, sir. I apologize.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your household, you're not the name on the account. I can't release any of that information.
They can't do that. But I'll say the biggest announcement of me is probably Star Wars Episode 9 news. I love that folding lightsaber. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care about any of that. I think The Mandalorian's pretty cool. I think Moon Knight's pretty cool, but I still think the pricing, for some reason, again, maybe I'm just getting old, but $7? I know it's not as much as Netflix, but it's
Dwayne Johnson
content-wise.
$7 entertainment.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's a movie. Actually, that's half a movie, or a quarter of a movie, or a third of a movie, depending on when you go. But I'm just really excited, and obviously I'm a big Disney fan, so this stuff to me, I really want to go to D23. Maybe in 2 years I'll go. I would love to go and meet up with a bunch of people. It seems like everybody had a really good time. And
Where is it?
Yeah, this one is in Anaheim, I think, or something close by, because it was close to Disneyland. Some of those people, though, were waiting 2 days outside just to get in a merchandise line. I love Disney.
No thanks.
More than most people, but I will not wait in any line for any merchandise, I think, ever. But I'm not really a merchandise guy. I'm not a guy who's gonna have a big collection of stuff, because even as cool as my stuff is, I still love my posters. I don't need a bunch of statuettes or stuffed animals of every little thing. So I wouldn't wait like outside for multiple days for that. I wouldn't even do that for a flippin' theme park ride. Like sometimes like these new park rides opens, it's like 8 hours in a line. I'm like, yeah, for a 3-minute experience, guys, like I'm like, come on, we got to use our lives better. But again, to each their own. If you want to wait in line for a week to get something, merchandise, Disney's like, perfect. That sounds great. It's just funny to me. I'm just not that kind of guy. But kudos to all the people who are at D23. I'm envious of you. I still would have loved to have gone. And maybe next time it's around every 2 years. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the switch to every once a year if they get a ton of people to pay and come and see it. So, yeah. Well, gentlemen, let's start wrapping up the show here with that segment that we like to call, or I like to call, Lee likes to call, Joe likes to call. Hit me with it, Joe.
Time killers.
That's right, it's time for Time Killers. The games we've been playing, the TV shows we've been viewing, the movies we've been watching. Levi, besides Monster Hunter, what have you been killing time with?
I fucking hate you. I just saw the trailer for, well, the teaser for El Camino. Looks pretty good.
Oh, the Breaking Bad TV or movie.
Yeah.
Is Walter White in it?
No. It's about Jesse Pinkman, I think, on the run.
Okay.
Which I'm excited for. I mean, he was always my favorite character from that show, so. Not really much anything else. I mean, I'm waiting to jump into WoW here tonight or tomorrow, but yeah, just playing Monster Hunter.
Cool. Joe, how about you?
Yeah, Monster Hunter for me, pretty big time. Still playing a lot of that pandemic mode on Blackout. As far as movies, I saw six tuplets. Right?
What?
What did I say? It's with Marlon Wayans,
Oh, yeah.
and he plays like his 5 other siblings or whatever, but he was given up for adoption and finds them and then finds his mom, and it's a whole thing. It was actually kind of funny. I mean, it's nothing to rush out and go sit on the couch for, but it's if you want to kill a little time late at night or something, or you're bored, yeah, it's fun. It's fun. He does a good job. It's kind of Nutty Professor-esque, right? Eddie
Yeah.
Murphy and them all.
I think it's too much. That stuff gets too much for me personally, but
It gets a little odd.
like
but yeah.
Austin Powers worked up to it, right? He was like 2 people in the first movie, like Mike Myers, then it was like, all right, we're going to do 3 and then 4. Like jumping into that is too much. But besides that, anything else?
There's another Netflix movie, Death at a Funeral, with Chris Rock. What's the other guy's name? Martin Lawrence.
Yes.
And quite a few other stars. Quite a few other. Tracy Lawrence is in there. Luke. Oh God, what's his name? Luke Owen. Yeah. Luke Owen. Zoe Saldana is in there.
Oh,
Anywho,
Zoe, melt my heart.
cast. Just a kind of shit show movie. Like they're at a funeral, their dad died, and it's this whole thing. Who's the guy that played Tyrion Lannister?
Peter Dinklage?
Peter Dinklage. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm the biggest Game of Thrones fan. I love what they did with the last season. My favorite episode is the last episode. I love the last episode. Yeah, baby. Winter has come, and I love it. I love the winter. I love it so much.
You know not what you say.
Oh, you know what? I saw Good Boys. It was actually really funny.
Oh yeah, did you like it?
Yeah, very inappropriate for children, but it was very funny.
Is it funny to watch little kids say a bunch of bad things?
Yeah. It's not like, I mean, it's crass, don't get me wrong, but it's like, it's one of the most humorous films that Seth Rogen has done, and it's not and he's not in it at all, so it was actually pretty.
Oh, did he direct it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I could see him directing that. He's like,
With the dogs, right?
I'm gonna get these kids to say some bad things. I'm sorry.
Sure.
That's my Seth Rogen.
It's that dog animated one or like claymation thing.
No, it's about 3 kids that are like best friends that just kind of skip school. Are you joking?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
was
like,
trying to
are you trolling me or?
I don't know what Joe is talking about. Is that dog claymation one? What is
Isle
that?
of Dogs. He's talking about Isle of Dogs.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Isle of Dogs.
I was like, what? He's like, oh yeah, that one, obviously.
Yeah, watch the trailer, Joe.
Oh, I love you, Joe. Okay, good. I'm glad. I think Joe's lost his mind. That was very good. On my end, I finished watching Gravity Falls. It only has 2 seasons and 40 episodes. Everybody should check it out. It also has some like special like little side stuff that they used to air like during commercials, like little kind of snippets of other original things. But watch it. It's really good. It's really good. Please, everybody, watch Gravity Falls. Catching up on Bachelor in Paradise. I guess it's not work. There's trouble in paradise, baby. I'll tell you that much. Still great. Love watching it.
Yeah.
I love it. And then that's pretty much it of stuff that I can talk about. Secrets. I also finally watched Spider-Man 2 and did a commentary, so it should be coming out soon. That movie still holds up, and it actually moves at a pretty quick clip for being a movie that's over 2 hours long. It's still good stuff. Good old Spidey. Maybe they'll make Spider-Man 4 now that Sony's got Spidey back. Just bring Tobey Maguire back and just old Spidey. Like older Spidey. One who doesn't hit Mary Jane would probably be a good one. Which I thought about it. All those movies end with the 2 of them together. I was thinking about that the other day. Anyway, which check out Ordinary. It's a song by Train. That's at the end of the Spider-Man 2 there. You guys should check. That's not a bad song. It's a good song. Anyway, let's move into that final segment of the show, community feedback and questions. Yeah, here we go. Boom, boom. So, this question comes in from our Discord, and I think Levi is going to love it particularly, but it comes in from our buddy Fragadin. Fragadin, I love you, bud. He asks us this, #critical podcast, Classic WoW, or World of Warcraft, just released, and nostalgia is running high for many returning players. If there is one game you could return to its original glory and relive the experience like it was the first time, what game would you pick? Levi, we gotta start with you.
Legend of Dragon.
Okay, why?
Best game ever.
Was it?
No, not best game ever, but one of my favorite PlayStation games.
And you just want to go back to it to experience it for the first time?
Yeah. Beautiful times.
Okay, well, simpler times, right? Not Halo 2 or anything?
Oh, you know what? I mean, let's not,
I'm casting doubt.
Yeah, let's not do that, because this is a rabbit hole. Yeah, Halo 2 would be really good to relive again. That was awesome.
Not like Pokemon Red or Blue?
I wasn't there for launch at Red or Blue. I kind of jumped in through
Gold
daycare friends. So
okay. How about Gold or Silver or something?
I also was kind of late to the party on Gold or Silver because I couldn't. I didn't get it right away. But okay. I remember the launch of Halo 2 pretty well, and it was amazing.
Yeah, that's when LAN parties and multiplayer was personal. That was good stuff. Joe, how about you, man? Any games that you want to play for the first time over again? And it can be more recent. It doesn't have to be
remastered or rebooted
You're reliving it for the first time.
Oh, Area 51, but I want it remastered.
It's not remastered. It's the same, and you're seeing it through the eyes of you as the first time you saw it.
Having never experienced it before, just reliving that experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Area 51, but I think at my age now I would want more. In my experiences now, I would want more.
Okay. All right, I think you'll never be satisfied. You're like, this is good, but where's the Battle Royale?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah, it was just a cool storyline, a labyrinth, and it really was.
Joe, I'm gonna buy you Doom. If I bought you the first Doom or that remastered Doom that came out,
Doom. This is so much better.
Is it slower? Is that you would love Doom though? It's so fast. It's so much killing. It's got rock music. I might just secretly gift it to you someday. Can you guys guess what it would be for me? Does anybody want to take a guess? What game it would be?
Lion King for the Super Nintendo.
Oh my god, that game's so bad.
Oh my god. 007 GoldenEye.
Oh no, I actually was never, to be honest with everyone, I was never a huge fan of that game. It never felt great to me. The aiming was always...
Yeah, I know. But I mean, it was the first person shooter done.
Multiplayer one, yeah, because Doom and those old ones. Okay, no guesses? Not anybody want to take a guess?
No.
It's Pokemon Snap, guys. It's Pokemon Snap. That game is incredible. 3D environments, 3D Pokemon, taking pictures. That was so cool. I thought it was so cool. Like any of the N64 stuff, like Super Smash Brothers, I used to think about Kirby pile driving people into the ground like on a daily basis. And then I started telling people, yeah, I like to pile drive my personal problems. And this was like a 5th grade me. Like this this is who I was. Like I thought the jump to 3D was like so substantial, and it made my life. Like N64 still, like when I see one, I get like a feeling, and I couldn't imagine going back and playing, especially like Pokemon Snap for the first time. Like going back and being like, oh my gosh, what is this? Like it just felt like a whole new world in the best possible way. Man, because like I think the gut reaction would be like play Pokemon Red or Blue again. But there's so much I was so afraid about with Pokemon Blue, especially like the rock tunnel. I'm like trying to get through like these big like things as a child. I remember thinking like, this is gonna take me days, like, you know. But Pokemon Snap was just like, just chill out, like capture Pokemon in a different way. And it was always changing. I think I like that too. Like it was never the same all the time. And I just loved it. I still love that game so much. But to go back and play it again for the first time would be pretty magical. I would, though, like Joe, like some updates. Freaking put Mewtwo in there. Put like all the Pokemon in there. Add a few levels, guys, because I could breeze through that game like 2.5 hours. Like, give me a real challenge. But also keep all that Gen 2 and everything else out. Well, Gen 2 is fine, but like all the new Pokemon, don't give me that crap. I don't want that. I don't want it. I do not want to take a picture of honeycombs or keys or a trash dump, or like it's just like, well, look, you got a picture of that guy, because you know it would be a better like point picture than like a Charizard. They'd be like, oh, well, that dumpster looks pretty good or whatever, like, or the trash pile. Sorry, I get frustrated. Or like that chandelier, that ghost chandelier, that's a great picture of that one. You got 3 of them in that one. Your Charmander picture looks like crap. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, yes, Pokemon Snap, that'd be the one. If you guys ever have a question, though, or a topic for us to discuss here on the show, all you have to do is you can put it in our Discord under the podcast questions tab, or you can tweet at us on Twitter, or you can actually send us an email if you ever want to, too, which is it's gocriticalreviews@gmail.com. You can do that as well. But if you want to tweet at us, we are at GoCritical, capital G, capital C, or tweet at me personally. I'm at JimmyGood013. But if you want to tweet at Joe, they can tweet at
Lever_627. That's Lever just like Beaver, only with an L. And Levi, if they want to reach you, what can they tweet you at?
I'm at Levi Fletcher.
I love
Levi,
it.
just like the jeans. Shut up, Joe. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's true. Please tweet us. And I keep forgetting to do this because Ryan's always watching. By the way, shout out to Ryan and everybody who watches on a weekly basis. I love you guys. Thank you for sharing us around. Share us on Facebook. Leave us a review. But we got to leave them a hashtag. What's our hashtag this week, guys? What's it going to be? Is it going to be something D23 related, or like Moon Knight, or something else? I don't know. What do you guys want it to be?
Oh,
Let's
the hardest question of the entire podcast.
I know.
Disflex. There you go.
Hashtag Disflix. Let's get that to trend. If you don't tweet us or whatever else, just write hashtag Disflix somewhere. I want this to be a thing. And I don't know who came up with it.
DIS or
FLIX.
PHLIX?
No, it's don't make it complicated. DISFLIX. Disflix. Not DIZ, it's DIS, because it's got to be like Disney. I still think they should have called it Disflix just to be like, hey, Netflix, we're gunning for you. Like, you're going to take them down. Remember when that, like, it's like with Amazon. They used to be books. Netflix used to be like rent a DVD. Like, they'll send it to your house, like, to take out Blockbuster. Now it's like, it's that big fish who ate that fish, and now Disney's like, oh, like, they're going to eat it. It's just, it's a whole thing. But hashtag Disflix. If you want to support us, consider checking out our Patreon or going over to our Spreadshirt, or literally, like I said, just sharing us around, liking this video. All of that stuff really does help. I mean, literally just telling someone to just watch something. And to everybody who's been watching out there, I actually know some people, some friends of mine who've been watching this like at home on their television, which is incredibly humbling and also kind of funny. So thank you for doing that. It's
I'm on a TV somewhere.
You're all. I mean, now you are. There you go. Yes, you're on a TV somewhere, and it's incredibly humbling, so thank you so much. You could be watching anything, and you've decided to hang out with us. Thank you. I appreciate it. But until next time, or next week, I should say, just remember to adapt and overcome.